What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another 6-side reaction, and today I got for you another little short doc. Shout out to the guy Kid Nerd. I saw the title. This showed up in my suggestion now because obviously I did the Deadly War in Camden, and I saw this and this caught my eye. It's called Malistrip Most Dangerous in East London. It's 11 minutes, so it's gonna be a little longer video than the normal drill reactions I do. Malistrip. I have reacted to a Malistrip song. Shout out to the guy that suggested that back in the day. I have listened to some more Malistrip as well. I've heard a lot about him from like people in the comments and people that have messaged me. Let's hear it from the boy Kid Nerd, because clearly he's got the facts too. So let's see. Obviously, join me on this little journey we on as I rediscover drill. I like that, you know. I said that in one of the previous videos, and I'm gonna use that again. It's really what it is, because I've listened to drill a lot, but now I'm really pushing my limit with drill to the point where I'm listening to a bunch of new things that I didn't listen to before. I'm fucking with it. I'm a big drill fan, so UK drill, of course. Let's get straight to it. Malistrip Most Dangerous Gang in East, Most Dangerous in East London. It doesn't say gang. They're not a gang. Alleged.
What's up, guys? Your boy Kid Nerd here, back with another video. And today we're talking about the Malistrip. Now, a hell of a lot of you guys have requested for this video, so let's try and smash 1k likes for my next video. And guys, if you remember last video, I said follow my Insta for a prize. I actually have to blur out my Insta in the video, because you guys are going absolutely brazy with the follow requests. Nearly 200 of you guys requested me. But today's winner is Pringles PRVT. So if that's you, please send me a message and collect your prize. But I actually made a new Insta. Should be on the screen now. Follow that one, and I'll pick a random follower for the chance to win a 50 pound later too. One last thing as well. Everything I talk about in these videos are public knowledge, by the way. I'm not spewing any secrets or underground information, just a quick disclaimer for all my videos. Anyway, let's get into this video.
Cool.
Now, Malistrip is a gang from the Leighton and Walthamstow area. There's actually two different sets that make up this gang. L Tizzy, which reps the E10 postcode, and SJ, which reps the E17 postcode. Now I mention postcodes, I mean more where the gangs are based rather than rep. Unlike a lot of other gangs in London nowadays, Malistrip doesn't really beef over the area you're from. Their beefs are all drug and revenge related, which is how gangs should be, technically speaking. I'm not encouraging...
Facts. I agree with that. I don't think you should beef because of blocks. Like, you shouldn't beef because he's from those ends, and you know that's not really a real. In my opinion, obviously, maybe people in gangs would say otherwise. I guess like if people are stepping on your territory and all that, it makes sense. But you know, like if everybody can just play their own part, you know, stay out of everyone else's way, you know, everything will be all right. But I guess things don't necessarily always go like that. So. Yeah. Their
beefs are all drug and revenge related, which is how gangs should be, technically speaking.
Yeah.
I'm not encouraging any type of gang activity, of course.
Me neither.
It does make sense.
I want to clear that up too. I don't encourage and, you know, support any of this stuff. I am truly here for my entertainment and your entertainment. I am a pretty huge drill fanatic, and for me this kind of stuff is just interesting because with the music, there is a deeper side to it. You can't listen to drill and ignore that fact. You can't be a drill fan and ignore the fact that, yo, the shit they're rapping about is not like normal shit, right? Like, an average person doesn't go around doing the kind of shit these guys do. So you can't just listen to drill and be all about drill and just like when this kind of stuff comes around, oh, that's like, I don't fuck with that, I don't fuck with that. But you're listening to the music and you're singing the lyrics, you're rapping the lyrics. So you have to acknowledge the fact that this shit is there. And obviously, I don't condone any of this, and you know, everybody stay safe, God bless, and let's keep it moving.
Sense why a gang would have an issue with another gang if they're stopping them from making money. Now, the Malistrip gang control most of the drugs being served in the areas, but this wasn't always the case. See, most Malistrip older members originated from another group called the Booming Boys, who were originally a Jamaican-based gang who used to run the area. The Booming Boys are based in an estate in East London called Booming Road, and they are the longest established gang in the area, and are thought to have around 100 members. In the late 90s especially, they were seen as the most dominant gang in the area, but the Booming gang has always had issues with neighbouring gangs in the area, like the Oliver Close gang, or OCG, when a member of OCG robbed a member of Booming Boys over a dispute over drugs. So the Booming crew around these times was the biggest gang in the area, because of the size of their estate. But because they were beefing so many different smaller areas, they were starting to get outnumbered. Estates are the UK version of the projects, if you don't know. And just like what we're seeing a lot now with these older crime-ridden estates, a lot of Booming is now being demolished and refurbished in an attempt to gentrify the area and push more lower income families further away from London. So it's got to the point where pretty much all members of the Booming gang don't actually live on the Booming estate anymore. And this is a reality for pretty much most gangs in London right now. Many blocks which had high gang activity have now been demolished and rebuilt, which means most original gang members will be forced to relocate, and gang leaders will have to recruit new people from neighbouring areas. But because of Boomer's big reputation, recruiting wasn't really an issue for them. But anyway, yeah, Boomer always included a lot of these Malistrip members, until they split from the gang and created their own organisation. This is more than likely to create their own drug lines and territory, or it could have been because of personal reasons inside the gang itself. But either way, Malistrip now beefed the Boomer Boys gang over territory. Now what a lot of people don't know about the Malistrip gang, it isn't just a Somali gang, despite the name Malistrip. The founding members of the gang were Somali, but there's all different types of races and ethnicities who were part of the gang. Now Malistrip has caused such a massive disruption to the borough, because these guys are really some savages, and they've managed to clean up a lot of drug trade in the area, while also running county line operations outside of London, where I said they also operate in Essex, and even all the way to Scotland. And they've caused such a massive disruption that they're literally beefing the whole of their borough. So they're from a borough called Waltham Forest. And if you don't know what boroughs are, they're pretty much sections in London. I think there's around 32 boroughs in London. And the main gangs in the borough, apart from Malistrip, are the Boomant Crew, LGR, Priory Court and Higham Hill. And Malistrip are literally beefing all of these gangs. Some of these gangs literally set aside their beef just to focus on beefing Malistrip, which means these guys must be really putting on some pressure. But Malistrip isn't the only Somalian-based gang that have shown their ruthlessness. Other Somali gangs like Aga Grove in Camden have also shown they're not to play with. And this isn't just a UK thing.
Of course we reacted to that thing too.
Somali gangs like Aga Grove in Camden have also shown they're not to play with. And this isn't just a UK thing. Somali gangs have dominated a lot of other countries like Sweden and Canada, where they operate mass drug operations.
I rate that he mentioned Canada because that's facts. In Canada, a lot of the gangs here are also Somali based, and they are also like heavily influenced by Somalians. And obviously, like, I've met a lot of Somalian people in my life. I have Somalian friends as well. And Somalian people are mad chill, but it's facts though. When you look at the statistics, there are a lot of Somalian people in these gangs. So, but that's that.
Thing. Somali gangs have dominated a lot of other countries like Sweden and Canada.
Yeah, they dominate. They actually literally dominate.
And have a big reputation of being quite savage. When we look into the history of Somalia, we can start to see why. Like, these Somali-born people would have been surrounded by violence most of their life, with constant civil wars, conflicts with Ethiopia, and piracy taking over the country. I guess a lot of these Somali gang members are just a product of their environment, which is...
I actually never thought about that. That's a very interesting point you just made. That's like, actually like, yeah, it just makes sense. Shit, I never thought about that.
And piracy taking over the country. I guess a lot of these Somali gang members are just a product of their environment, which is sad because deep down, Somalis are one of the most funny and genuine people you'll meet. But anyway, back to
Somali people are hilarious, bro. Bro, I had this one boy back in even elementary school. I remember his like the first, actually like when I moved to Canada, I didn't always live in Canada. I moved to Canada back in elementary, back in like maybe like year 4, grade 4, year 4 as you guys would know. Year 3 is when I moved here. When I came back, I had this one friend who was Somalian. He was the first actual Somalian person I ever met in my life. His name was Abdi. I know you guys probably make a joke, Abdi, everyone's name is Abdi. No, it's not. It's actually not. I met other Somalian people as well. But I remember that guy being hilarious. Like, he was the first time I met a Somalian person, and he was funny as fuck. This guy would make jokes, and like we would like clown around with each other and shit, would like fucking play fight and shit. He was funny, bro. He was a chill ass guy too. It was the first, shout out to him. I don't even know where he's at now because I've moved like bare times. I moved a lot, so you know. But shout out. But yeah, it's facts. Somalian people are mad chill.
So as I said, they're pretty much beefing their whole borough, but they have made little alliances, like a smaller gang in the area called the DM Crew. And when I say alliances, I mean pretty much absorbing the gang. Because Malistrip is such a massive group, they've managed to take over smaller gangs and building their enterprise, which can work good on the money side of things, but can cause a lot of trouble for the gangs as well. Sometimes this creates sort of a divide in between gangs, like the Somalian gang TPO in North London. They have 2 completely different sets branch out the gang, which both beef each other, which is hella weird because they both roll with the same name TPO. And it's just like 1 minute you're friends and 1 minute you're not. And it could even just be one person within that group. You could all literally be fine. There could be 10 guys from this gang, 10 guys from that gang. Everyone's fine with each other, but it could literally be that one member.
Somebody told me about that. That's where the old school friends thing comes in, right? Old school friends.
And there could be 10 guys from this gang, 10 guys from that gang. Everyone's fine with each other, but it could literally be that one member that has a problem with another member. And they might have a fight, and then their friends are obviously going to back each other with the fight. And it could just create a massive divide. Even within that tight circle when things are getting hard, maybe there's not enough money coming through, maybe there's a drought with drugs.
You guys see the guy in the shop?
In that tight circle when things are getting hard, maybe there's not enough money.
Look at that. The guy in the back, the one guy's just like, what the fuck's going on? And the other guy's just like...
through, maybe there's a drought with drugs. Some people will look into their circle and think, who can we rob? But I know I refer to Malistrip as a gang, but in reality I say they're much organised than what you would call just a normal street gang, and they have very active operations in place to stop law enforcement, and they heavily monitor police activity just to make sure they're safe. This includes waiting outside police stations to record police number plates, placing spotters around the area to warn of police presence, and even gathering police officers' information on social media to pose threats towards them. One officer noted that members were hanging out the back of their police station, and they were actively taking pictures of him while writing down his number plate, which I guess is mainly an intimidation tactic. But it's not just their drug operation which has made Malistrip catch some attention. Their beef with rival gangs in the area is probably one of the most active in London, especially in 2018 and 19, when there was a lot of tit-for-tat war going on. So much back and forth that I can't even put it all into one vid. But let's go back to 2017, when an affiliate of Malistrip was stabbed to death in Walthamstow. So his name was Elijah Donnelly, and he was a talented footballer, but obviously started getting involved in the street life. Elijah and his friend was walking down the street at night on May 7th, 2017. People say he was trapping that night in the area, but either way, two members of the Booming gang, Ezra Soares and Morgan Mockford, spotted the two while they were riding out on their bicycles. The pair then hid behind the telephone box and leaped out and stabbed Elijah in the stomach, hitting the main artery and causing his intestines to start falling out. Elijah, after being stabbed, actually managed to run to a nearby shisha bar called Arabian Night, but died 2 hours later from blood loss, while his friend managed to escape unharmed. And his killers have actually had a lot of previous convictions from carrying knives mainly.
Yeah, that made my stomach turn a bit, I'm not even gonna lie, that's fucked.
Here's the question, do you guys think there should be harsher sentencing for knife possession? One of the attackers have actually previously been caught with a knife in 6 separate occasions, so maybe if the police had dealt with him earlier, Elijah might have not had to.
My man was caught with a knife 6 separate times? That's fucked.
Use his life. Both attackers were sent to life at prison at the age of 18. So in around 20 seconds of confrontation, 3 young boys now lost their lives. Anyway, this really started to ignite the feud in the area, where it saw some tit for tat from both areas. But unfortunately on March 2018, it was clear that this feud had now spiraled out of control. 3 Malistrip members, Loic Nagiz, Hamza Ohak, and a 16-year-old boy that can't be named, were riding out on the Ox block for revenge, when they mistook a man called Joseph William Torres for a gang member called Samuel Hunter, and shot him dead in his van in Walthamstow, East London. Which is obviously always sad to hear when an innocent person gets caught up in stuff like this. And when you compare the two, they actually look hella similar. Like the same race, the same facial features and height.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
Scary. And interestingly, the 2 murderers of Joseph were actually caught breaking into the home of Israel Soares, the 18-year-old who was convicted of killing Elijah, who I mentioned before. The day after they broke into his house, the 2 members actually shot up an amusement arcade when they believed they saw Morgan Mockford, the other killer of Elijah. So you could already start to see where the links are between these murders, and how the first murder of Elijah has now ignited the mistaken identity killing of Joseph. It also shows how dedicated the pair was to revenge. They were still looking for revenge months after the murder. Anyway, that pair is now locked up for life. After this, the war in the area started going crazy. In one incident, a member of a local gang called Priory Court was riding out looking for Malistrip members and chased 4 members with a loaded gun, a knife and ammonia while they hid in the off license. Ammonia is basically acid, and what some gang members will do was squirt it into rivals' faces, leaving scars and causing their face to peel off if strong enough. But yeah, Daniel was caught doing this and was sentenced to 15 years in prison, and was actually caught running 2 county line operations while in prison. Like, you've really got to be a serious boss to run a whole drug operation while being locked in prison. But the one murder that really started to shine light on this whole situation was the murder of 14-year-old Jaden Mealy. On the 9th of January 2018,
14-year-old. God damn, bro. Oh, please, guys, stay off the streets. Oh my god, 14.
District members stole a Mercedes and rid out to the Beeman Boys territory. They caught 14-year-old Jaden riding around in his moped when he was out dealing drugs, and drove the car at him at a high speed and pretty much killed him instantly from impact. The Malistrip members then jumped out the car and stabbed Jaden 9 times even though he was already dead, then fled away from the scene. One of these killers being 19-year-old Ayub. He was sentenced to life for the murder. Ayub is a classic example of a kid who was in a troubled childhood. He was then groomed into joining the gang. His father died while young and he was put into foster care and worked under a Malistrip county line operation. And now this young man has now got to spend the majority of his life behind bars. Now when most people think about the group Malistrip, the rapper Richie comes to mind the most. He pretty much set the platform for the group with his song Bingo and put his younger members on like Baby Maine, who is now doing numbers. And just a side note, I think Richie is a seriously underrated rapper. Like, I don't think he's really got the recognition that he deserves. Well, allegedly, Richie was involved in a double murder of 2 drug dealers back in 2014. Now this isn't actually all confirmed and it's kind of just speculations, but Richie talks a lot in his lyrics how he beat a crazy case and the timelines kind of match up. So in 2014, 2018, a group of 7 Malistrip members stabbed to death 2 rival drug dealers in the East London area of Leytonstone. 4 were found guilty and 3 were found not guilty, but one member actually fled to Algeria straight after the murder. 5 years later in 2019, this same member returned to the UK to clear his name, quote unquote, and was put on trial, and was eventually found not guilty of the double murder. And this was the same year that Richie burst onto the drill scene, where he mentions he beat a case. Obviously he was found not guilty for the murder, so if it was him or not, either way the person managed to beat the case. But if you actually type in Richie on YouTube, you'll see all of his original songs are gone. He just straight re-uploads on there. He put a message on his Insta pretty much saying he's stepping away from the gang life and is now devoting his life to Islam, which is why he deleted all the videos.
Salute, bro. Damn. God bless
the case,
him,
then congrats to him. It takes a lot to step out of that life and start fresh. So best of luck to him.
And
I hope he continues to follow that path. Whether that's actually the case or not, who knows though. We'll have to see. If you haven't noticed as well, none of these Malistrip murderers are actually Somali. Even the Ayub was half Irish and Moroccan. So it just goes to show, even though the gang is called Malistrip, the gang is quite diverse. So in this video, I probably named around 5 to 10 people under the age of 20 who have either lost their life or freedom to the streets. Obviously we have sad cases like Ayub, who have had unfortunate starts to life, which has led them to make stupid decisions, which I'm sure he now regrets. But guys, cases like this are becoming way too common now. If you're watching this video and are starting to associate with some sort of gang activity or rivalries, then just stop now, please. If you're ready for the involved, then fair enough.
That's just like, it's facts, man. It's really not worth it. It's really not worth it. Like, this is giving me chills just watching this. It's actually not worth it.
Associate with some sort of gang activity or rivalries, then just stop now, please. If you're ready for the involved, then fair enough. Maybe you can't be saved anymore. But this is a message to the young people who want to start getting involved or are slowly starting to get involved. Stop while you can now. These people who you think are your brothers and have got you for life, spend 5 years in prison and see which one will still be picking up your calls or sending you money. Ask someone who's doing life in prison right now, how many of his friends are still sending him money? While all these people in this video are now spending 20 years plus in prison, their old friends or gang members, whatever you want to call them, will all be getting on with their lives, starting a family, getting a job, going on holiday, while you're stuck in a box because you wanted to ride out for them same friends. Elijah's mum, who I talked about earlier in this video, says she still can't sleep at night after 3 years of her son's murder. Every day she goes to bed thinking her son will magically walk through the door and the nightmare will be done. Do you want to put someone's mother through that? And more importantly, do you want to put your own mother through that? Anyway guys, that wraps up today's video. Put in the comments what you want me to cover next. It's been your boy Kid Nerd, and peace out.
That was a really good video. Shout out to Kid Nerd, man. His coverage is actually really good. His coverage of these topics is really good. I can tell he does a lot of research. But goddamn, bro, that's actually very tragic. That's just very tragic. Obviously, Malistrip, from what I've heard, is very, very certified. They're very, very, like, I don't know if they are still active. I don't know what the scene is like in the UK now, but from what I've heard from the past, these guys are crazy. And obviously now knowing all this is wild, man. It's actually wild. It's best to just, you know, everyone stay in your own lane, try to make a clean living. You know, I know it's hard for some people, but it is what it is. You know, like you can make a lot of money in the doing all this shit right here that they're talking about, but county lines and all that. But at the end of the day, like, if you get caught, you're around the wrong place, wrong time, wrong people, it can end very, very badly, or you can get stuck in a hole in prison, and it's just not worth it at all. And down the line, when you reach your like 30s, your 40s, like, what are you gonna do? You know, at that point, like, you haven't made any significant money and you ran away and all that, like, you're pretty much fucked, right? Like, it's life's peak at that point. And it's not worth it. And that's that, guys. It's a very tragic end to this video. Obviously, I'm a little shook by all this. I'm not even going to cap that 14-year-old kind of thing. It was a little shocking. Rest in peace. And yeah, that's that. Thank you for tuning in to another 6 Side reaction. This is Malistrip, most dangerous in East London. Let me just Kid Nerd, subscribe, follow this guy on IG as well. But that's that. So leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of your boy, comment what else you guys want me to react to. This was not requested, this was just something I wanted to get around to watching, and I was like, if I'm going to watch it anyways, I might as well do a reaction to it. So yeah, there it is, and I'll see you guys in the next one. 6 Side reaction.